This is Matt Bell, and you're listening to the Indie Sports Car Podcast.
Welcome, ICP fans, to our first update of the Rolex 24-hour Daytona. IMSA, whatever. What's up, Missy?
Hello.
I'd like to bring back, and everybody knows him, Greg Man.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Greg. And joining us for the first time, but you heard his just really great weather report for us yesterday. Doug Schneider, how are you, Doug?
Hey, pretty good. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're happy to have you. And just want to let everybody know, on Twitter, Doug is, I typed this out a few times. Yeah, I believe it's at race, the number 4, YOU. Is that, am I correct?
Actually, I'm race 4 caster, race number 4 caster.
That's it. I'm sorry.
My partner Scott Martin, he's race WX4U.
There we go. So yeah, I just combined the two Twitters into one right there. Sorry.
Yeah,
but your combined effort is it's at Racecast WX, right?
That's right.
Hey, I got that one right. All right, great. And before we catch you guys up with what's been going on in the race, Doug, would you like to catch everybody up on the upcoming weather of the race, if anybody's out there?
Yeah, sure. I'll be keeping up with the weather all for the race, and the news as far as the weather goes, pretty good through the rest of the race. Earlier we had a shower that lasted for maybe 10 minutes, produced some overall pretty light rain, came down a little heavier, just enough to wet the track. Some of the cars were able to stay out on slick tires, others changed to wet tires, so it kind of made for some interesting strategy calls. I think we could see some showers like that for probably the last few hours of the race. Not looking at anything really heavy or anything long-lived during the race. Just, that real brief shower that could wet the track and make for some difficult strategy calls for the teams. Mix things up a little bit.
Sorry.
There could be some heavier rain that comes in after the race is over, but I think that's going to be after 4 o'clock. So what we're looking at for the rest of the race is just that kind of light shower on-off kind of stuff.
Okay, but it should make for some interesting strategy calls during the last, what do you say, 3-4 hours of the race, or 2 hours?
Yeah, I'd say probably the last 3 to 4 hours is when there's a better possibility of some showers. I couldn't rule it out even between now and then. I couldn't rule one out entirely, but probably the last 3 or 4 hours are probably the better chances.
All right. And we will definitely have another weather update for you guys by the end of the race. And you know how weather is. I'm sure the picture will materialize a little bit. You know how weather goes. I mean, at least here in Jersey, it's whatever's happening in Philly is pretty much what's going to happen here. I mean, unless it's a hurricane coming off the ocean, but let's not go there. So yeah, I'm sure some people out there don't want to hear that word.
I'll be posting updates on our Twitter account through the race, and then my partner Scott Martin, he'll be taking over and be posting some radar updates through the morning. Keep an eye on things, and
if they want to check that out, the Twitter is again
at Racecast WX.
Perfect. All right, and again, Doug, I just want to thank you and Greg for reaching out and partnering up with us to do this. I really like it, and I think it's going to be a really cool little segment for the races to come for the following season. So, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Right on. So, I guess I'll start with the lovely, the beautiful Greg Mamet. I'm kidding. Missy. What do you think about the race so far, Missy?
Well, It's kind of boring. There hasn't been much going on, I guess. I mean,
Well, let's
as
start
far
at the
as-
beginning.
as far as I know, there's only been 2 cautions, but I mean, the first one was just for, I think it was the number 38 car just limping along on the side of the track. They threw a caution for that, and then
Sounds
think
like
that-
you didn't agree.
well, I mean, he was off to the side. I didn't see a reason to call the caution. He was off to the side, not in anybody's way, but whatever. They threw it, so.
I think you answered your own question, really.
But there was a couple of cars that's happened to. Like a blown tire is a really big problem. It seems like, especially for was it the number 90?
The number 10's blown out 3 of them so far.
That's it. The number 10. Yeah, it's blown out 3 tires so far. So it's like, and I think the second caution was for, I think it was the Porsche 911 that spun out and hit the tires by themselves.
You hear that, Greg? You hear how she pronounced that word?
Porsche instead of Porsche.
Yeah. I'm messing with you.
Unnecessary letters in car brands.
It's not unnecessary. The E has to be there, so the SH or the CH sounds like a sh sound and not a ch sound. I graduated English. How about you?
I will just leave it with that sentence, Frank.
Oh, that was a good one. Good comeback, Greg. All right, Doug. What do you think about the race so far?
Actually, I thought it's been kind of interesting because, there haven't been too many caution periods, but it seems like we haven't gone too long without there being some kind of drama for one car or another. So, whether it's these tire problems that cars are having, or been a couple, there's been some pretty close racing, even exchanging the lead several times, and some battles for position in the top 5 in each class, and then you had that penalty on the 29 Land Audi, which really caught everybody by surprise, and we were wondering what the deal was with that penalty. And turns out their fuel flow restrictor was allowing too much fuel to get into the car too fast, and that really threw everybody for a loop. And I think it's been pretty entertaining so far.
Oh, okay, so I guess they ran out of fuel a lot earlier than they had planned on.
No, I had to do something with how the fuel flow restrictor was putting fuel in the car during their pit stops.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, IMSA regulates how fast each manufacturer car, how fast they can put fuel in the car, and they have restrictors for that. And there was some problem with the Land Audi's fueling restrictor. I'm not sure exactly why, but they gave them the 5-minute BOP penalty for that. Took them out of the lead.
Does anybody agree that this should be a lesson to IMSA to stop BOPing the heck out of these cars right down to the fuel restrictor nozzle? Just wondering. Like, does anybody have a opinion on that?
Well, I mean, it has made the racing close, but
How? It's a pit stop. I mean, it takes longer to change drivers than it does the fuel.
I was gonna say I think it takes longer to change the tires on than it does the fuel.
Yeah, it just seems like an unneeded. Balance of performance part. Or I don't know how to say that right now.
Pit stop balance of performance, I don't really see, because you can only change a tire so fast.
Precisely, and
I think.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think the purpose of that fuel flow restrictor is because the different manufacturers have different size fuel tanks in the car, so they're basically trying to balance out how long it takes to refuel a car, to even out these different size fuel tanks.
I mean,
at least my understanding of it.
I mean, yeah, and the different manufacturers having different size fuel tanks. I think that right there should be more regulated than the restrictor of the nozzle, right? Just restrict the amount of the gallons of the fuel tank. But then again, we have 4-cylinder, we have 6-cylinder, we have 8 cylinders, all in just the prototype class. So I get that the 8 cylinders, Mazdas probably have a bigger fuel cell than the 4 cylinders, so I guess that's why. I don't know. I
I
mean,
guess.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in charge of that stuff.
I'm just kind of spitballing, talking out loud right now, to be honest.
Yeah, it's really complicated on so many levels.
It really is. Like once you get down to it, you're like, okay, I guess just leave them to their own devices, I suppose. But then again, trying to jump into the heads of IMSA is just a mind trip. I don't think anybody would want to go down. Like, why would you overregulate the GTLM to all heck? But whatever. Anyway, yeah, Missy and I are huge GTLM fans, and they just seem to just want to destroy that class ever since they've took over, or ever since they merged. But that's just my opinion, and I'm still bitter over losing my Porsche. But whatever. Why they all have to have the same brand tire? I don't know. Does it really matter? No.
I think they're trying to keep the GTLM on Le Mans specs, aren't they?
Well,
They're the only ones
they're
that
doing
run
a
Michelin.
terrible job of that. Are they? Well, I guess Le Mans does have the same tire, though, don't they? Michelin. But then again, who knows? All I know is that last time I talked to Shank, he was talking about with with the Leger that he had a few last couple of years that
Yeah.
maybe 2 years ago, up to 2 years ago. He said that when they put Michelin's on the Leger, the thing was like a rocket ship. He said, but I guess they were using here at the time. Were they Cooper or? I'm not really sure, but whatever they were very subpar to Michelin. That's for sure. Is what he told me. And I don't know if I was supposed to say that, but that was a couple years ago. I guess I can get away with it now. But,
Shank for the record.
Yeah, for the record, Michael Shank loves Michelin.
I'm sure you botched it anyway.
Probably. I do know I got the Michelin part right, but let's not talk about 3 years ago. Let's talk about the last 12 hours. Okay. Greg, what do you think about the race so far? Or did I ask you that already?
Well, I think it's been pretty good. I mean, it has been quite the endurance without these cautions, which I guess that's the point of endurance racing. So that's a good thing. But it does go to show the talent in this year's field that everyone's been able to actually drive their cars this year, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, and a great point right there. It was the main point that we focused on, over the week, is the driver lineup for this race. I mean, I can't remember a better driver lineup in any race. What do you think, Doug?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, all the guys from IndyCar and a couple guys from Formula One. I guess watching the Fox coverage, it seems like it's been the Fernando Alonso show. But
I don't understand why, because he's nowhere near the top.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to know how much they're emphasizing him, if you go to the IMSA site where you can follow the lead manufacturer, they also have an option to follow Alonso. So, yeah.
Right on.
I like the guy, but come on,
I love him.
It's a race.
I'm a huge fan.
Absolutely. I mean, he's if he's not the best, he's definitely one of the best of the current generation of drivers.
Well, there's no arguing he is the most popular race car driver in the world. That goes without saying.
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you got...
It really does seem that, him coming over to Indy to do the 500 was just a much, much bigger story than him doing the Rolex 24 here. Because you really didn't hear many people talking about it until literally like a couple hours before this race started.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't really see much promotion about it until, Fox comes on and, hey, here's Alonso.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, I think Missy didn't who was it that I think it was Sean Yoder over the week said that I can't remember his exact words, but that IMSA has done a terrible job promoting this race, especially having Alonso in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really. I mean, then again, it's the Rolex 24. How much promotion do they really need to do? But
It's true because the people that are going to watch the 24 are race fans that are in the know anyway. I mean,
right,
yeah, I mean, because let's face it. I mean, sports car racing. It's not like you have huge sports car racing fans out there, and that's all they watch. I mean, it's normally like open wheel fans gravitate towards the sports car world, and other fans gravitate towards another part of racing. That we don't really touch on the show.
I mean,
So
even Formula One fans, because Fernando Alonso isn't the only F1 driver in this race. I mean, actually, I think Felipe Nasser was doing pretty well. Of course, his name's not on here, so I don't know. Can't tell which car he's driving at the moment. I don't remember what number it is, but he was doing pretty well in the top three.
number 5, I think.
31.
31.
He's 31. Oh, so they're still in third. So yeah, he's still in the top three.
Yeah,
Okay.
And
they
the
were
other
leading
guy,
for a
that
few
rookie
laps.
that we talked about a lot on the show on Tuesday, Lando Norris, is that his name? Lando Norris? He's doing
Yeah.
pretty
No,
well
it
too.
was Lando Calrissian.
No, it wasn't. It's Lando Norris. I
See,
mean, he was
that was a
doing,
Star Wars joke. You didn't get it.
yeah.
It was a
Anyway,
good
his pod
joke.
racers
That was a good joke.
holding together. So
That was a bad joke, Greg. Pod racer.
Yeah.
Don't ever reference the prequels on this show. You got that? I don't even want to hear about the Last Jedi either. I can go on for an hour about
Right.
that giant.
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I think the Acuras are doing a pretty good job too of the prototypes.
What's that, Missy? I'm sorry.
The Acuras, I think they're doing pretty well so far in their in the class.
You mean the
they're
Penskes?
running 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're 1 and 2 right now.
I'm shocked.
So,
I am shocked, actually. I mean, I said that condescendingly at first because it's Penske, but after I just thought about it, I am actually really shocked. It's not a Cadillac of some sort.
I'm not
they-
really shocked. I mean,
Well, it is a Taylor,
It-
though.
it's Team Penske, and I mean, Graham Rahal's in the car, Elio Castroneves is in the car, and then the other Taylor brother, right? The other Taylor brother. I forget which one's over it. Ricky Taylor.
I think
Doesn't
it's
matter.
Jordan,
One of the
Taylor.
Taylor brothers is
I
in
think
the
it
car.
has Jordan.
Yeah, it's Jordan
Jordan
Taylor.
Taylor?
It's
Yeah.
Ricky.
No, it's Ricky.
Oh, is it
yeah,
Ricky?
that's
Oh.
what I thought so.
Oh, okay.
I can't
Yeah.
get those. Yeah. Thank you, Doug. My impressions of the race so far is I don't have one. I've been sleeping the whole time. Full disclosure, I fell asleep when I came home, and I just woke up about an hour ago. But I will be taking over the second shift while Missy goes to bed, and so I'll be watching it. And so for our next update, I'll know what's been going on, so I can update anybody who's coming to watch the end of the race and hasn't seen any of it. They'll be able to listen to the Indie Sports Car podcast, and they'll be all caught up. And for all of our social media outlets and everything, where can I get that at, Missy?
That'd be www.theindysportscarpodcast.com.
Right on. And again, for any weather updates for this track, and if you are in Daytona and you want to know what's coming, Doug, where can they find everything at?
Follow at RacecastWX on Twitter or visit racecastweather.com, and we have a live radar link at the top of that website.
Right on. And we'll definitely post that down in the show notes. And also with the weather forecast that Doug gave us in the beginning of this show, that should pretty much have caught you up until now, and give you an idea of what's to come at the end of this race. So, and we will definitely check back in with everybody, at that time. So, any departing words for the part 1 of this 24-hour race there? 12 hours in, what do you guys have to say? Final words of the first 12 hours. And I guess I'll start with Missy.
I mean, I think it's just been a little bit boring. I mean, there has been some good battles they've been showing going back and forth. I mean, I don't really care about the cautions as much. I mean, I don't really think a good race, it depends on how many cautions get thrown out. There has been some good battles. I guess it's been more exciting in recent years, but this year it's kind of like, I guess, I don't know, mellow. There's been more tires blowouts than anything I've seen so far. So I did like the picture of the two guys that were sleeping, and somebody photoshopped Fernando Alonso in his little lawn chair, which I thought was hysterical.
That's
Yeah, that was-
contender for best photo of the year already.
Yeah, so I thought that was great. But I just wanted, the leaders right now, like I said, you have in the prototype class, Mike Conway actually is leading right now. In their, what were they driving? A Cadillac. And
Cadillac.
then you have Dane Cameron in the Acura. Christian Fittipaldi is in the other Cadillac, and then Graham Rahal is in fourth in the other Acura. Your GTLM class right now, you have leading Derek Mueller in the number 66 Ford, followed by Scott Dixon in the other Ford, and then you have the two Chevy Corvettes right behind them with the number 3. Mike Rockefeller is in the car right now, and Marcel Fassler is in the GTL or the number 4 Corvette. And in your GTD class, leading right now is Andrea Caldarelli in a Lamborghini Huracan GT3, and followed by, I guess, their teammate Ralph
Mitchin, I think.
Itchin. Yeah, and the other Lamborghini Huracan.
Ralph's
And
itching.
then
Better get some ointment.
Itchin. And then AJ Allmendinger is in the Acura in third right now, and then Sam Bird is in fourth in a Ferrari 488 GT3. So those are your leaders at currently at with 11 hours and 12 minutes and 30 seconds remaining.
Very good, Missy. That was a good update right there. I'm like up to speed already. But all right. Greg, any parting words or final thoughts on the first 12 hours?
Well, like I said, it's been a true endurance this year. Just go since the start, which is nice. I like the idea of spotty rain mixing things up for the finish. So with the top class of driver we had and the mix of rain and everything else going, this should be a great finish, and it's been a pretty good start, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yep, same here. Doug?
There's been very little attrition so far, and like Greg mentioned, with all this green flag racing and very little caution periods, I just wonder if late in the race we're going to see some cars falling by the wayside, and maybe some guys breaking down. It'll be interesting.
Right on. And I have nothing to add. I didn't say it, but from the sounds of it, I'm definitely going to periodically kind of go back and just skim through the last 12, see if I spot out anything worth mentioning for our next update show. But until our next update show, Missy, I think on that note.
And on that note, you know that I know that there's still 11 hours to go,